Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you how to calculate crude death rate, also called crude mortality rate. The example we are going to use is from Christie. This study examined deaths by coronary heart disease between officers and other ranks in the British Army. This table shows us the data collected from the study. The first column is the age group. The second column is annual death rate by coronary heart disease in the general British population. Data from this column is used for standardization. We will talk in more details about standardization in the next video. The next two columns show the number of deaths by coronary heart disease in 5 years and the number of military officers in each age group in a unit of 1,000. The next two columns, which are officers' crude mortality rate per 5 years and per year, are left for us to fill in. The next four columns are the same as the previous four columns but for other military ranks. As an example, let me explain the first row for you. The first row tells us that there were 100 military officers aged 15 to 19 years. That is 0.1 multiplied with 1,000 equal 100. And there was no coronary heart disease death recorded in 5 years among officers in this age group. Similarly, there were 25,300 other ranks people aged 15 to 19 years. That is 25.3 multiplied with 1,000 equal 25,300. And there was also no coronary heart disease death recorded in 5 years for other ranks people in this age group. Interpretation is the same for all other age groups. The last row is the total of each column. Now we want to calculate crude death rates per year for both military officers and other ranks. Crude means that we do not adjust death rates by other characteristics such as age in this case. We will discuss how to adjust death rate by age in the video about standardization. For calculating crude death rate, we do not need the first two columns, so I will hide them. So let's start our calculation for military officers. The first step in calculating crude death rate is to calculate the total number of deaths, represented by character A in the last row. We have A equals 41 deaths in 5 years. Second, we calculate the total number of military officers, represented by character B in the last row. We have B equals 16.7 or 16,700 officers because the unit is 1,000. By dividing A by B, we have crude death rate per 5 years, represented by character C in the last row. However, as the rate is too small, we multiply it with 100,000 to make the rate per 100,000 officers. We have C equals 245.5 deaths per 100,000 officers per 5 years. To calculate D, which is crude mortality rate per year, simply divide C by 5. So we have annual mortality rate is 49.1 deaths per 100,000 officers per year. Repeat the calculation steps for other ranks. We will have the total number of deaths in 5 years, which is A equals 108 deaths. Total number of other ranks people is B equals 138,800. Crude death rate per 5 years is C equals 77.8 death per 100,000 people per 5 years, and annual crude death rate is D equals 15.6 deaths per 100,000 people. Now, as we have calculated crude death rates for military officers and other military ranks, we can compare them. For military officers, crude death rate is 49.1 deaths per 100,000 per year, and for other ranks, crude death rate is 15.6 deaths per 100,000 per year. The question now is whether we can conclude that military officers have higher risk of coronary heart disease deaths than other ranks, and does that make sense? For now, I will leave it for you to figure out. In the next video, I will show you the answer. Thank you for watching and see you.